Let me see first before you do our whole intro.
Oh, yeah. All right. I got a live feed. I think we're live, dude. Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely are. Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, we're getting it going. Well, here we are. Chapter 22 of the DC Alliance podcast. My name is Greg, the Bat Daddy 52, and with me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Bowen. How you doing, buddy?
Good listeners, this is Travis, Mr. Hines, as some people like to say. They
Yeah,
can't stick on a nickname here at the network. Well, by
right.
they I mean Nathan and Greg because they've been back and forth with 57 and Bone and T-Bone. And anytime anyone says T-Bone, all I think of is the Seinfeld episode where George wants his nickname to be T-Bone, and it doesn't end up being that, and
Right.
someone else steals it, and Shrimp store. Oh my God, just uh, oh, I love Seinfeld. Not something that I wish I could talk about sometimes, Seinfeld. But I'm great, Greg. I'm just a little busy with uh, back to school, so midterm week last week and this week. But after that, it'll be a nice, relaxing couple weeks to enjoy some content I got to catch up on.
I hear you. Yeah, it's going to be a long week for me, man. I sent out the tweet earlier of like my homework for the week. I know I've got this and the Marvel Alliance show tomorrow, and then I gotta read Long Halloween. I gotta finish the Thrawn book that I'm reading. I've got to watch some Spider-Man the animated series, some Batman the animated series,
You can put
Star
both of
Trek on
those.
Friday.
You can, spoiler alert, you can put Batman and Spider-Man on back burner because this cat's not watching. Although I could go into our Spider-Man season 5 review with you without watching any episodes. Could give you my
Okay,
top 5 and tell you about every episode.
okay. I'm actually pretty caught up in that. I've only got like 5 episodes left, so
So
I'm almost done with.
have you started the Secret Wars yet?
No, that's the next one I
Oh,
have like next. So that's what I'm about.
ooh,
That's why when I was
ooh.
telling you about how much I liked it, and you were like,
And I
"Oh,
was
just
just
wait,
like,
it gets better," and I was like, "Wait, it gets better." I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, there's the first squirrel.
then
Derailed.
I really we're promoting superhero
True.
discussions. So
Yeah, exactly. And we're
with
talking
that,
DC, so
let's lead you into the network plug, Greg. From
mm,
that talk about superhero discussions, let's lead you right into that.
sounds good, man. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where you can find shows Monday through Sunday. Monday, you're going to find World's Finest True Believers with Mr. Balga covering comic book story arcs from any publisher from his guest choice. Tuesdays, you're here with me and uh, Travis on DC Alliance podcast. We're covering everything DC. Wednesdays, you see Mr. Snell and Mr. Balga again. They're covering Marvel Alliance podcast, doing the same thing we're doing here, just with Marvel. Thursdays is Katie's Day, covering Star Wars Alliance podcast and Slice of Film bi-weekly, which is the sexiest of weeklies. Contractually obligated to say that. So, and then Fridays, you can hang out with me and Travis here again on superhero discussions. Right now, we're wrapping up or getting close to wrapping up Spider-Man the animated series. Right, we should be about
Yeah,
halfway through it. Yeah,
yeah.
so
Season 3 comes out this week.
yeah, so we'll be recording season 5 pretty soon, and then walking right into Batman the animated series. That'll be
Oh,
fun.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, Friday nights check out Super Civil Servants podcast. We do that live Fridays, usually around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Last week we introduced the new Rangers Alliance show for the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. We watched the OG Power Rangers movie, did a commentary track on that. It was really fun. Go check it out. Watch it with the movie. It's pretty fun to if you're watching it with the movie, you know, you can kind of follow along what we're saying. It's a fun time, but always fun. Check that out. It's going to be Rangers Alliance podcast. I'm confused about the days it's going to be airing. I know the first episode is going to be airing November 1st.
I
So from
think,
there, they're going to let you know.
I think. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is going to alternate weeks with World's Finest True Believers.
Yeah.
After I think Belga's gonna like use up his retro episodes sometime pretty soon. So he's just gonna go because obviously like he goes in depth like crazy on these. He has to read story arcs for whatever person he is. So you can't
Right.
really. It's really hard to do that weekly. So this kind of makes it, especially he has Marvel Alliance as well.
Mm.
So and family and job and so
Oh yeah.
we don't
They got
want
lives.
anybody to stretch themselves too thin. So this is kind of a smart play for Belga, and I think it'll be great, especially with the Ranger stuff. There's a ton of stuff there, and I'm definitely going to hope to jump on an episode, especially. knowing that Clay, his favorite Ranger, is my favorite Ranger in the
Yeah,
Red Ranger.
it's a
So
popular choice. Yeah.
it'll be not so much when Green Boy come onto the scene and everyone's like, "Oh, cool, look, green."
Well, I forgot all about Green once White came on scene, But
Got
anyway,
humor.
so but yeah, like I said, November 1st they're going to be airing, and then I think, like you said, bi-weekly on Mondays, and don't forget Fridays and Saturdays is Weird Science, DC, and
Saturdays,
Marvel.
Sundays.
Excuse me, Saturdays, Sundays. Yes, got my days confused.
Okay,
Saturdays,
yeah.
Sundays, Weird Science, DC, and Marvel comic book rundown. Jim's covering everything not everything, but certain stories from current storylines that are going on right now in the comic book store.
Yeah.
Check it out. And then tell them about our Patreon account there.
Well, we have 2 tiers in Patreon account. It's $1 tier is just basically donation to us. You don't get anything extra for that. Really, it just helps us keep the candles burning, as I like to say. And we have a $5 tier, which you get a ton of things in the $5 tier. You get early access to episodes. If you were a patron, you got access to all 4 seasons of Spider-Man the animated series right when they dropped. We put on the Under the Red Hood episode early. Most times with superhero discussions, you'll get, like, when we do Batman, we'll do 2 weeks of Batman, and patrons will get that right away. Whereas the regular listeners, it'll be 3 episodes in 1 week, then 3 episodes another week, like that. So we do try to do a little bit extra for patrons, and you also have some Patreon only content, like the Amalga chats, like you trying to convince us that Green Lantern and Doctor Strange are the same, the top 10 comic book movies. I hope we can get together and do
Good
another
argument.
top 10. I like to do top 10 comic book video games, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's one that's my
Hey,
I think
I'll go
think
ahead and
that
tell
we
you,
would
if you're gonna do video games, Green Lantern video games making my list.
I'm sorry, but you're going to see my list is going to be vastly different than others. Like, I'm going to have
Hey,
a Nintendo, regular Nintendo games, Super Nintendo. I'm going to have across the
so there's
board
no
because
limits. I got you.
no, any game, any
Has to be
arcade. Oh,
from a movie.
it can't be arcade because like arcade machines, because I could just riddle my whole top 10 with arcade machines from the 90s of the X-Men and Spider-Man and Captain America and Avengers was amazing.
Right. Okay, so
Just
I like the idea of this, but are you saying it's got to be a superhero game or it's got to be a
yeah,
game from a
superhero.
movie?
No, superhero game.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do
Like
that.
comic book video game. Yes,
Let's
I'm
do
gonna.
that.
Well, Mr. Snell, we're throwing that down right now. That's something I would like to do. And
Yeah.
Greg, after that Patreon breakdown, let them know about the charity before we get into this tonight's show.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely let you know about that. November 7th, Geekverse Podcast Network is running a 24-hour live stream charity event for BC Children's Hospital. All proceeds go to them. They're trying to raise $1,500 to shave Mr. Snell's head. I mean, we're trying to raise $1,500 because it's a good thing to do. But if we do raise $1,500, then it'll shave Mr. Snell's head. He actually, I suggested something, and so did Clay, and I think Travis went with it because he tweeted it out today. 1750. I think Clay's going to shave his head, and then 2,000, and I'll shave my beard. But
Okay, I was gonna say I was just about to jump in on that. I
I'll
couldn't
shave
help
my head
myself.
too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think 2,500, and Travis said he'll shave his eyebrows. I'm not sure though, but I think he said that
No,
the other day.
did he say
Yeah.
that really?
No,
Oh
I'm
my
talking
God.
about you, Travis.
Oh no,
Yeah,
sorry.
it was in a text message there. I
No,
think. I don't
I'll
know.
shave my head. Like I don't really have. Although I do. Not gonna lie. I really enjoy my hair. Uh, my mother was a hairdresser, had her own salon. I've been guinea pigged on since I was like 12. I've had highlights. Oh, Greg, it was terrible. Like I got highlights. I played in All-Star ice hockey. I went up that week after getting highlights. No choice in the matter of getting them.
Right.
And every person on the team called me rotten banana, including some of the coaches. Some of the coaches, grown men.
That's
And
hilarious.
it was terrible. It was not a good scene for 11-year-old kid. It was awful.
I agree. But if you get a chance, go check out the 24-hour live stream. We'll include the link to donate in the show notes here. And if you can't donate, just give it a share. Let some people out there know, because it's a good cause. We're trying to raise some money. Super Civil Servants podcast is going to be joining them for a little bit of that, doing a trivia challenge that is limited to movies only. And I've already made videos and said my piece online. we're gonna smash those guys on the
I
7th.
I better I want to say I better hope that I don't hear that it's you somehow were the cause of us being only
No,
movies,
you know
because
what though?
Snell's being really weird and coy
He
about
is being
this.
weird about that. And I thought
Like,
about that. I was like, was I drunk one night and told him we should only do movies? But I don't remember that. And I scrolled through our texts and I don't remember seeing it. So because when he told me it was only movies when we were doing the Batman You Complete Me show, I was surprised about it. I didn't know. So I don't think I did. I hope I didn't.
well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
you've
Yeah.
forgotten me and Belga on numerous
Yeah.
occasions in your trash talks. So I mean, could you forget that you said only movies? I think there is a at least 30% chance that you may have said that.
30%'s a little tough. Maybe there's like a
70% chance that you're right here. I don't think that that's very, especially when we're factoring in whiskey or rum or any sort of alcohol.
I've got to scroll through my text.
Your percentages goes down, Greg. But
No.
they go down.
I hear you. I'm for me, I'm like 98% sure that I didn't say that it wasn't me. But there is always that lingering doubt in my mind, like, oh crap, did I do that one night when I wasn't thinking? But I don't think I would because I don't want it to be this movie. But anyway, either way,
Well,
we're gonna
just
smash
to
them.
say,
Yeah.
this cat here was a little disappointed because I can
Yeah.
like, you can give me an episode number on most Arrow shows and even some Flash ones, and I can probably give you the title and everything that happened in the episode. So basically, that knowledge is now useless to me. And also, I listened to Fans with Eight Brothers today that dropped. They did it yesterday, and Brent was talking about some of the questions that he was thinking about anyway. And Ray gave him a suggestion of name all the movies that Foggy was producer on before the MCU. And I was just like, I would not have a sweet clue about that if that was asked me. Like, I would have to try and think it out at the moment. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do much research, but now after hearing what Brent is going to do, I think I might have to buckle down and look at a bit of Marvel stuff.
Yeah, because Brent's doing the Marvel thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, and also
You're
with Brent's
right.
too sly too, right? You may
Yeah.
think that he's just going to do all MCU because he loves the MCU the most
No,
of all.
I think he would go away from that for sure.
I could see him do. He talked about Blade, and I was like, "Don't you put that Blade 3 Trinity stuff in there? Don't you dare!" Like, I know that. And he talked about Ghost Rider too. And then I'm just thankful that Belga was on our team because, Belga loves Ghost Rider, so he may be able to actually know what Nicolas Cage's nonsense happened. So that, but also Brent watched. Yes, only live action, so I don't have to worry about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that. But gonna have to brush up on your Marvel, Greg. It's gonna be fun times.
Yeah, I guess now I think about it, if you did just movies and you had the right people asking the questions, you could have some really, really tough stuff to do.
Oh, I was just complaining because
we definitely got the right people asking
my
questions.
TV knowledge is wasted. That's all. Like the 6 times I've watched Daredevil on Marvel Netflix is useless to me now because
useless to you in this situation.
Should have watched Blade Trinity 6 times instead, Travis. I guess the joke is on you.
I hear you. Well, you know what though? Nathan's going to complain. That might be one of our longest plugs right there because we were still.
I'm not the host. I'm not the host. Not the main host. Not the main host.
You are the main host, man.
No, no. We already established this. I introduced superhero discussions. You introduced DC Alliance.
I hear you. I got you. All right, cool. Well, I don't even care.
Long. I like when Nathan's mad at us.
Yeah, me too. It's fun. Good conversation. Nathan's a fun guy when you get him a little fired up.
We have some people talking in chat before we start going on our news, and
nice.
Belga has joined, and the rare appearance of Wobbly Boots.
There we go. See, it's like Beetlejuice, man. I said his name too many times, and he just appeared.
I mean, he only just put a clown emoji in, so that's something, I guess. I guess you or I are a clown, so yeah. Dang it. Belga said he didn't remember the Ghost Rider movies. Okay, well, brush up on Ghost Rider movies. Got it. Okay, let's start.
Hold on, real quick. You see what Chris says? Always watching SCS and Geekverse to see which side I will join. What do you mean watching SCS? You're on SCS with us.
No, I think he meant the chatter in between the two groups, but even then, that's a little shady if you ask me, because I've been slated like Belga, but I'm not. I think I've been slated worse than Belga, to be honest with you, from you in your breakdowns, and I have taken it all in stride. because we're a network, we're a team. We in this together here. Chris. Remember where we all started before we joined this wonderful network.
Hey, I'll be the bad
X-Force.
guy. I'll be the bad guy. Anyway, all right. So yeah, thank you, Chris and Nathan, for coming to the chat and hanging out. What's up, man? And the truth is here. What's up, man? All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get some news going then, man. We do have a few stories to talk about. You always lead away with the news, so here's the mic. Get us started.
Well, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Greg. It was always a great time when we get to talk about that.
Mhm.
And first of all, I'm just going to say there was news that dropped, and before I get into the news, it was actually titled Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I think we all should just give a little shake up, little rah rah rah, because it's actually called what it should be called.
Should be called, exactly.
And just great. So the news we got that dropped, and I'm pretty sure after listening, I don't think Snyder wanted this out there, but Jared Leto is returning for additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Greg, what did you think about this when you first heard this?
Well, the first I actually heard about it was just y'all talking in the chat about doing the podcast about it, because I was so busy that day working outside, I didn't even know anything about what was going on. So I was kind of heard about it after everybody else had heard about it. But thinking about it, I like Jared Leto's Joker. I mean, I get people's complaints about him, and I get that there's certain choices here or there that maybe I wouldn't have gone with, but all in all, I like Jared Leto's Joker. I can't really say there's a Joker I've seen on screen that I didn't think did a good job. I mean, I was never a huge fan of Jack Nicholson's Joker, but it's a Joker. He still does a decent job. I can see the character. It's just a different kind of portrayal. Yes, there's some that are better than others, but as far as Jared Leto coming back, that's awesome, because I don't think he got the respect he deserved. I think that he would have gotten a whole lot better reviews on his Joker had there been more story to it, other than a little bit that we got in Suicide Squad. So yeah, to hear that he's coming back for this is exciting. The only thing I wonder about is, like, how much are we talking about? Are we talking about like a 15-second scene, one line with Joker? Because that's different than him being something else in the story, or at least is going to be something that's thrown away that's just cool because it's in there, fan service, or is it going to actually mean something? Is my question.
Well, I've heard a couple different things and seen a couple different things from people what they think this could be, and the three main ones that I get is either like the nightmare world, like the nightmare future. He's in that, maybe helping Batman, because we see Batman with the Joker card in his gun, on his gun, I think in BVS, I'm pretty sure, and the Joker card flies by in the trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So you could have him and Deathstroke helping Batman in this future world, because I mean they could want to survive. That could be one thing,
right?
And it could be prison breakout where Deathstroke breaks out Lex from Arkham, and Joker is there, or Lex hires Joker after to get even with Batman. There's so many different possibilities, but also the one that our good friend Travis Snell wants campaign for, really hopes for, is the death of Robin flashback, which I think there's a very heavy possibility of that. But I also heard the guys at DC Film Squadcast, Tim and Scott, speculate that it could very well be Zack Snyder just shooting something for David Ayer's Suicide Squad, because he did that before with the Flash part. Only the Flash, not the Captain Boomerang, but he shot the Flash part and they sent it over and they spliced it together. So it could very well be something, because what do you call it? David Ayer tweeted out that he finally got to look at his movie, and it was awesome. So I think this could be involved with that. I only got that. I just finished listening to DC Film Squadcast like an hour before we came on. So that gave a new thought to my what it could potentially be, but I'm going to go with the death of Robin flashbacks. That's what I really think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I think out of all those, that's the one I would like the most, is the death of Robin flashback, because I just love to see that story. I want to see Robin become a bigger part of this universe, even if it's just hearing a story about him. That's the next step forward. But I didn't think about that setting up Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad. That makes a lot of sense. because after him doing this, why wouldn't he want somebody else to succeed in the same kind of venture and give him as much help as he possibly could?
Well,
But
they
does
were
that mean that
connected
it'll be like a
anyway.
throwaway scene?
Well, I don't know about throwaway scene. They'll be connected, but I don't think that that's the way to go. But that is a thought, or maybe that could
Right.
be an extra thing that he filmed is
Yeah.
just something to send over to David Ayer to help. But I don't think at all because he said he watched his cut and it was good, so I don't think he's going to need anything. So I'm thinking it's the death of Robin as a flashback. Uh, Maybe we see how broken Batman was before.
Mhm.
Like that was the worst he was. Maybe we see him get his teeth knocked out. Maybe we see Jim Gordon there telling him, "Stop, you're doing too much," kind of deal. So I'm very interested to see what it could be.
Yeah.
I hope the thing that I think it could be or hope it could be is set up for Ben Affleck's Batman movie.
Hmm.
If you have the two main villains for him being Deathstroke and Joker, you
Yeah.
could do that and set that up and put that right into motion. But we'll see if that happens, Greg. But I'm really excited about this. And I also want to tell people to go to the Vaga stream from the Field Junkie. It happens every Friday night after Super Civil Servants is done streaming. So it's always a good thing for me to. I usually watch that for an hour before I go to bed and catch the other hour and a half when I get up the next day doing
Mhm.
things. I just listen to it, the audio version. So, uh, yeah, that they talked about this. They went in great detail about this. So,
Yeah.
check them out. It's a great little stream. There happens every Friday.
Well,
Mostly people about Snyder fans.
yeah, it's funny. As soon as you brought that up just a moment ago about it being for the Batman, the television series or HBO Max series, the truth in the chat was just saying that. And I was about to bring it up. Right as you were saying, he was talking about. Do you think it's is it Snyder planting seeds for Leto for the Batfleck series or future films?
It could
And
very well
it
be.
very well could be. Yeah, and I'd be okay with that. I really
I
would.
I think this
Um,
helps Ayer's case for us getting the Ayer cut. I think this is like why let Leto come back like this, especially in that Ayer cut. You get to see 30 more minutes, supposedly not 30 more minutes. I can't remember exact
More
time.
though, like
More,
substantially
a
more
lot more,
time.
substantially more.
Right. 30 minutes of film time in a movie is a lot. Even you look at, like I
Yes,
said, I was looking
yeah.
up Star Wars
I
and
can't
stuff.
remember exact
Even
number I
Ray in
seen.
Star Wars has like 24, 25 minutes of film time.
I
So
can't remember the exact number. But it
yeah,
was substantial. More scenes was cut, like especially with him and Harley.
right.
So
And that's Chris actually just kind of seconds that also. He says the haircut is more of a sure thing now than ever before with this
well,
news.
he came out. This is the first time he ever. He said, "I watched my cut,"
Hmm.
and uh, he was a good soldier and took the bullets for when uh, Suicide Squad was released by the studio
Hmm.
with the trailer company cutting it. He didn't even get a chance to cut his own movie, which is crazy for stuff that he didn't have anything to do with, which was BVS.
Hmm.
But he said he watched it and it was still he loved it. He actually said he started thinking that like, did I actually do like, did I actually film a bad movie? Like, am I not like understanding here? Did I
Right.
miss it completely? Missed the boat?
Hmm.
But he said I watched it and it was amazing. It got exact tone of that first trailer, which I really loved the first trailer too. I enjoyed the fun trailers as well, but no, I want to see this. I'll take the second uh, version of this movie any day, and I'd watch both versions. So I don't understand
Right.
how this is announced yet, but I think him looking at his movie pretty much sealed it for me. Until told otherwise, I'm just assuming we're going to eventually get the Ayer cut now.
Right. Well, and more that backs that up is right before we spoke about this last week, right before he saw it. Maybe I'm not sure. A few days before that, he talked about how he'd never seen it before, and how he didn't have the rights to see it or the rights to view it. And then and then he sees it. So
Well, you
you
can
know,
do with what you want for that, and uh, I guess that pretty much wraps up our Jared Leto talk. But
yeah,
uh, I guess Clay asked with Warner Max just making the announcement that they're shifting towards more streaming, they need content, and the IP of DC is the sweet spot. A Batflick series will be awesome,
yeah, it
and
would.
I agree with that entirely. They're going to need new things, but also with COVID, everything's up in the air in terms of when things will start, what things are going to focus on more, cost, how much they're going to be able to sink into a project going forward compared to before COVID. Like, how much are you willing to risk? Streaming, I think, will be the way to go for to get the most bang for your buck, because I don't think the streaming battle is hurt nearly as much. I don't think I think it's actually like helping it. What's happening. Obviously, it is helping it, but it's all about Ben Affleck wants to do it. But
Right.
I think it could set it up, and there have been shifts in Warner Media and Warner Max. We're not going to touch on that here because I don't think we'll do it nearly to justice. I'm just going to recommend a couple places that Vodka stream from the Film Junkie from Friday. Stephen Colbert talks about it in great deal, along with Scott from DC Film Squadcast, and I think they couldn't have put it any better. And then DC Film Squadcast do touch on it again, and Tim has some experience in mergers. He's been through a couple, so that would be my suggestion, is listen to those two. I will say that what me and Greg have said in the past about this being very similar to in sports, when a new president comes in and there's already a GM, a head coach, and a roster that is somewhat successful but haven't achieved top level. He's going to watch the people, let them do their thing for a while first, and then slowly start taking people out. I could give you an example of, just go back and look at the Toronto Raptors since Masai Ujiri took over.
Right.
As like even a couple years after, there was still people there from the old regime. But if you go and look at it now, it's a completely new regime. They just won the title last year. He changed all the personnel out that was there before he came in, essentially minus one player that he kept. He changed all the front office. He changed all the staff, brought in more diversity, brought in more representation for male and female, which is not very, very prevalent in these franchises. So you can see when somebody comes in, and I kind of equate this to the same here, where eventually you're not going to see anybody left from the old regime. And I think they touch on that greatly. But my sports analogy, I think, runs true for this.
Oh, yeah. Hang on one second. We're finding Chris right here in the chat saying he thinks the Snyder Cut gets a release date and gets announced a few weeks before it releases, and we get a confirmation from the HBO Max release air cut either right after Zack Snyder's Justice League or a month or two later. And I agree with you. I'm actually typing that in there because I think that everything that has to do with the air cut, I think they're building things up, but kind of treading lightly, walking on eggshells about what they say and what they do. Because if Zack Snyder's Justice League is a success, say it's a huge fan hit and lots of downloads, makes tons of money, they're going to want to move forward with the haircut. I think maybe they'll be ready then to eat some crow and be like, maybe we were wrong. Well, not them. Maybe they'll say maybe they were wrong and have this out there. What's up? You're shaking your head.
I think it's already. I don't think they're waiting on Zack Snyder's Justice League, Greg. I think it's a done deal. I don't think they're announcing it, dude. They agreed on making the Snyder Cut after November 17th of 2019. And maybe even earlier from some people, what they say, and it took so long for us to hear about it. So I don't think this man. This is COVID. This is COVID. This is COVID. Everything all productions have gotten either paused or pushed back or even canceled. That there's not much new content right now. You can get a director to go in, edit his own film, and you'd have another version of a film, another version of a big box office film to put on your streaming platform, and I in the timeline, you would think that Zack Snyder's Justice League would come after Suicide Squad because that's the way it laid out in the movies, like Suicide Squad and then Justice League. But I think here they'll do it in the reason they'll have air cut after Snyder Cut is if Snyder Cut's a big hit and you get big momentum, you're like, okay, well, we have another property here that you guys think you've seen, but you haven't seen it at all. And we just showed you something that you thought you've seen, but this property is completely different and it's the same property. So
when you say air cut after Snyder Cut, you mean just the way they come out, not chronologically.
Not chronologically. I just meant
okay. I was about to say, yeah, because the Snyder Cut is
you can't change that. You can't change that. Okay. Yeah, you can't change that.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm the more I hear about the Snyder Cut, like I said, or Snyder Cut, the air cut, the more I get excited for it. It hasn't lit that fire for me yet, but show me some stuff and give me. I think maybe Suicide Squad 2 also is getting me a little more excited for it. Just hearing more about that because it's getting me more in that Suicide Squad mode. I mean, it obviously wasn't one of my favorite movies. I like the movie, but it's not something that I continually go back and watch like I do other movies that I really enjoy. So when it's been a long time since Suicide Squad came out, I've kind of forgotten about it a little bit, So hearing all this news with the new Suicide Squad movie coming out and possibilities of the haircut is starting to get things going. Like I'm starting to get kind of excited for it.
Well, you don't see as much about the Ayer cut, really, Greg. You don't see your timeline with it. I don't see my timeline with it nearly as much. I honestly,
Yeah.
I see. Uh, I think I see maybe a little bit more, but not that much more from Ayer cut than Schumer cut. So they're kind of similar level
Okay.
because like it's a little bit special. I do think that David Ayer is a lot more closer to Zack Snyder than Schumer. Like I know he didn't get to do as much, but David Ayer's movie completely changed because of another movie that he had nothing to do with.
Right.
Uh, so I think that that's a complete injustice. And then they had a trailer company do the cut of his movie. So I mean, I kind of feel his plate there. I think he deserves it. Like, I don't want everything to get remade if it's bad, but
Hmm.
if a director suffered a injustice and he didn't get put out his version of the movie and he filmed it,
Hmm.
that's fine. Like same thing Zack Snyder filmed his, and he could have put out the 214 version, but
Right.
they're asking him to give us more, so he's given more.
Hmm.
So I think
Well,
here Ayer has something, and we'll get that eventually.
oh yeah, and there's also a difference too. You talking about you don't want to just redo a movie every time you feel like one's
Oh,
bad, but it's a difference here. It's not a matter of the movie being bad. It's a matter of the movie being completely different than what it was supposed to be, or originally intended to be. And I don't know how often that happens. I'm sure that a lot of things are changed in a lot of movies, in just about every movie, but I don't know like to what extent. And from what I understand, this one was quite a bit, correct? Which is what makes it so
yeah.
different. Like,
Yeah, like the George Lucas Star Wars, like when he like put out another edition of the Star Wars, and they had like 44 extra seconds of
right,
unedited footage or something. That's a cash grab. That's not what
right.
I'm advocating at all.
Hmm.
I'm advocating like this director. If we see with the COVID thing, they could have easily said, "Okay, Zach, we understand you're going through a lot here now. We're going to take Justice League and put it off a year." Or they could have said, after BBS, "Yeah, Zach, we're not liking what you're doing, so you're fired." Either or, but not the way that they half-assed everything and then screwed him over and then used that to get rid of him. That was all so dirty. I'm so glad it all blew up in their face. So that's the stuff we don't want to have happen anymore. But as for the haircut, uh, can't wait to see it. And I think it's only a matter of time. I don't think we'll get it broken up into like segments or anything. I think we'll just get a movie. So like I don't know how many people we're gonna get subscriptions for,
Hmm.
but if you still get like this movie being like the most downloaded movie for the month, I think that's a win for HBO Max.
Right. Well, that's actually similar to what Clay and I were talking about here in the chat, because he said you'd have at least in the 2 weeks of content, because I doubt the air cut filmed more than 2.5 hours of Suicide Squad. How long do you know how long the actual air cut is supposed to be? Because I mean,
I
if
don't
the
think
whole thing's
it's
supposed to be two and a
thinking.
half hours, I see it as a movie, not a series.
Oh,
Obviously.
it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think. I disagree with Clay there. I don't think that we're going to get 2.5 hours like over 2 weeks or anything. I think it's going to be just a movie, just straight
Okay.
dump movie. Yeah. So I think it'll do well too if you get momentum. Like if Snyder, we're going to get it regardless because it's content and HBO Max needs content right now
Hmm.
with like COVID. Like they're just starting out. They do have a lot backlog, but they do need new content as well. And you can market this as new content. You can.
Right.
You can say director's cut, bam.
Mhm. Well, and
So
you can say director's cut, but it's even more than
it
that,
is. No, it's the
So
direct.
it
No,
is the director's cut.
it's
You're right.
director's
You're
cut of
right.
the movie. Yeah.
Right. But it's even more than the normal director's cut would be, I
Yeah,
suppose.
if
You
you
don't see,
could,
yeah.
if you could have a context bubble, it would be gigantic to explain
Right.
everything that happened.
Right.
Yes, like
Right.
it's not like director's cut because we had to cut a half hour out. That's not what this is. No,
Right.
director's cut because this director wasn't allowed to cut his movie.
Exactly. So now he's doing it.
Yes.
All right. Well, you got anything else about the air cut?
No, that was that snowballed from the Snyder cut because
Yeah.
we had
As they tend to do. Yeah.
two other pieces of news involving the Snyder Cut, which was Joe Manganiello returns to Deathstroke for additional photography. This was released by Collider, but their source is a picture of Joe Manganiello in blonde hair, which
Hmm.
that's pretty terrible source. Like this is the article that shouldn't have been written until it was actually confirmed by a legit source. But it's not too hard to assume that for to go gray, you need to start blonde and then going to gray after that. There's my mother's hairstyling thing Pat.
Yeah,
Coming down onto me here.
you're right. I mean, it is assuming a lot just by
He
seeing the
doesn't walk around.
hairstyle.
Wait, let me rephrase that. He doesn't walk around with blonde hair all the time. So it is for a project. We'll
Right,
say
but
that.
it's more than just that though. It's about what he said. He said
Oh yeah, he
himself,
said.
correct?
But
Yeah,
he said that he couldn't say anything about it. He never said at any time that he's been filming any additional things. He
yeah.
never said that. So that's uh,
He said if I was a part of it, that wouldn't be my place to announce. That'd be Zach's place. So whether
yeah,
it's happening, it's the answer below my NDA level or whatever you want to call it.
yeah. So he
So
basically hinted there that,
right.
and then it didn't come out later that they're not even basing it off that. They're basing it off of the picture,
Hmm.
which is shoddy journalism at best. But
I hear you.
even if you're
Yeah.
right, you're not your credibility. You lose a bit of credibility for me because you're not bringing me a tangible source. You're bringing me an assumption from a picture.
Yeah.
So, but from what he said, if you put that article out last week after what he said in that interview that you're talking about, I would get on you. I would get behind you a bit more on that because he's actually saying words instead of you saying, "Oh, he has blonde hair." Yeah, he's going gray next. So, yeah, that's 100%.
Well, the article does raise the point of maybe he's going as Deathstroke for Halloween because it is Halloween very soon. Maybe he's just,
Dude, he could be having
he-
a badass game of D&D because he goes
yeah,
full bore. He wears costumes. He's all into it. So,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, Clay says it's a mohawk, not a full head of hair. So he doesn't think it's Deathstroke, which I guess when I look at it closer, kind of looking at it now, it's kind of a small picture though. Yeah, that is kind of mohawkish, I
well, maybe
suppose.
he just finished too. There's so many different possibilities
It's
here.
true.
Of he
Yeah.
could have only did a day shooting. We don't really know, and then
Right.
this could be the next day
Hmm.
after when he had a haircut. We don't like. That's why I said about putting this out just because it's a picture, but I still think we're going to get more of Deathstroke. I think he would have said no if that was the case in that interview about
Yeah.
getting more Deathstroke. So I'm very excited about that. And Daniel RPK, and we're not going to touch on this too much because uh, he released it on Patreon and there's no credible source at all. But he said that Margot Robbie's in talks to be Harley Quinn in the Snyder cut, well, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I don't think that, but also Amber Heard is on set right now. I really think that this could be like a pretty big expanded part of the Nightmare. I think that you could have
Hmm.
all these people together fighting the Harley Quinn, the Deathstroke, the Joker, the Mirror, because Aquaman's gone. She's on set right now. Amber Heard filming. You could have the like broken Cyborg and Flash because we see the Flash in Speed Force. I'm 100% certain in the trailer. So yeah,
So you're what we're thinking and what you're theorizing is, and it's very possible that it could be true, is that all these people that are coming in for these scenes that we didn't expect to see in there that were, awesome to hear news, they might be filming, might just be for one scene.
I think it could be out for the Nightmare World, Greg, because that
Okay.
was the stuff that was cut out a lot
So you
from
think we're gonna get
Zack's
more
movie.
than one scene from the Nightmare World?
I think we could because
Okay.
in BV
Okay.
after BVS, like these studios, like no, we don't want like they didn't want any more Nightmare stuff because people were confused by it a little bit from the movie, from the theatrical cut especially.
I don't
But
understand how you can make a movie like Inception and it be successful, and then people get confused about the nightmare scene in Batman versus
you're
Superman.
going in, you're starting off Inception the way it is, and you're going through it the whole movie like it. Here, this happens midway through the movie with no warning to one way or the other way about this happening. Like this comes out of nowhere. Like
I suppose.
if you were to take, just say for example, uh, your wife and sit her down and watch that movie for the first time, and she's seen that happen, and for the first time, what would she say? Do you think she would be putting like, what is going on here? Who is that? Like, I was,
I think that logically she would look at it. I mean, and maybe it's just me. Like logically, I know I would. And I think she would too. Would look at it and be like, okay, this is obviously some kind of dream or something different based on what I've seen before.
you would think
Because
it's a dream. That's all.
the nightmare sequence is so much different than even just the violent, brutal Batman in Gotham from the movie. Like it's a completely different setting. So like
No,
I think
yes,
logically anybody would look at that and be like, okay, something's up with this. It can't be what's like real time what's happening now. You know?
no, because see, no, nah. not in agreement for that one
So
because
you think the people actually thought that it went from Gotham to this apocalyptic scene just like that with no explanation or no story at all?
No, they like the way Zach's trying to show you it is this is a potential future, but the way
Okay.
some people could take it as is this is a dream that he's having, just a dream, not as a potential future.
Okay. Okay.
Like
We're
because
okay.
he wakes up
I
both
got you.
times,
I
and he's
got you.
like, and then after the Flash appearance, it's almost like he wakes up again. But he doesn't. We know that that's Flash visiting him.
Mhm.
That. But if you're like just random general audience member number one, and you see that, you're just like, what's going on? So,
So you
but
okay? Got you.
this Justice League was supposed to build on that and
Hmm.
show you even more of it, but
Hmm.
a lot of it got cut out. So that's what I think that this could be like. Even
Okay.
like all the characters that are still left alive are planning one last assault. We'll say that could very well be it, and it doesn't even end up happening. A la kind of like Days of Future Past,
Hmm.
where like they're in two timelines fighting at the same time, and let's say they stop him when Flash goes back in time, they stop Darkseid, and then whatever's happening in the Nightmare timeline just basically disappears,
Hmm.
and that other timeline is your main timeline.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that that's what that would be my shot in the dark guess, and that would be so badass if it's the case.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be crazy, man. So many possibilities. I can't wait to see what happens. And once the Zack Snyder Justice League comes out, I'm going to be interested to see where they move forward or decide not to move forward with this universe and this franchise. So
Just love it
we'll
though,
see.
Greg. I love when
Yeah.
we get a whole load of Zack Snyder Justice League news, and
Hmm.
that was it. I don't know how much more I want before we uh, get going here with the movie because I'm already all in, so I don't need to be spoiled by anything. I want to say I wouldn't watch another trailer, but
I
we
was gonna
both
say I
know
could
that's
do
not true.
one more trailer.
We
One
but
more trailer of
listen,
2 minutes.
listen, that's
2
not.
minutes.
I'm the same way as you, but we both know
Yeah.
that if a trailer drops, if it's a Ford trailer, we're both watching it. So
Right, yeah, I know.
we're
Yeah.
just hoping they
Yeah.
don't do that to us.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see one more trailer. I could see some stuff that I've already seen, but I'd like to see maybe a few new little things here and there. But nothing doomsday spoilerish. Stay away
Yeah,
from doomsday spoilerish,
I will
I'm good.
I will forever like wonder how that BVS does if it's allowed to be as 3 hours and they don't show Doomsday in the second trailer.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
two things that I will always be curious on. But I think that wraps up our Snyder Cut talk, or Zack Snyder Justice League, as it's officially called. I will
There you go.
forever refer
I like
to it
that.
as that.
I like that.
Greg, do you want to take a little break before we jump into some James Gunn, Suicide Squad, and Mark Guggenheim Green Lantern news?
I like that idea. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. Well, folks, check it out. We're gonna put an ad break in here real quick. Take about 30 seconds. We don't get to choose the ads. We just tell them what to put or what places to put them in. Volume can get a little loud, so just be aware of that. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, and we're back. So here we go. Second part of the news, man. Once again, I toss it to you. You're my news anchor.
Well, we've gotten a couple different things from James Gunn the last
Yes.
day and a half. Sure, he shared a picture from the Empire magazine of his Suicide Squad. I think I shared that with you. I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah, I've seen a
but
few of them. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. And there's some news, a couple other new ones that came out today from that article as well,
Mhm.
or yesterday. I think it was today. Maybe I sent them to you. Yeah, the two of uh, the crew in the ship and Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man,
Then I spoke about man. Yep.
and I can't remember Israel Alba's character now. It's blanking.
Bronze Tiger.
No, it's not. That's not. He's not actually Brown Tiger. That's what everyone thought.
Oh, okay. That's right. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But there's a ton of characters. But yeah, that was pretty cool that he shared that, and that magazine looks pretty awesome. But what I even like even more is he talked about it as he talked in the article in the magazine about nobody being off limits to him. Bloodsport is who Idris Elba is.
Yeah.
Good job, Greg. That's what has drove me crazy. But yeah, he talked about no character was off limits to him before he started. That was part of the negotiation process. just because I love when these directors dunk on random Twitter trolls that say stuff like, this one was like, Harley Quinn has franchise armor. Pretty sure King Shark and Amanda Waller also have DC has them other things protection. And everyone will sit at an 80% chance of dying. And I'm just like, I'm like, no, that's not true. He said like anybody could go. Now Harley's not going to go, obviously, but
Well, I like that he even says that in this article. He's talking about, or whatever his context was he sent me, where he's talking about, I don't. That doesn't mean that I'm going to kill everybody. It just means that I have the ability to. So watch out, type deal. Laying it out there, and I like that. Like you said, that is pretty cool, and he set that as like one of his standards for being able to direct this movie.
Yeah, which is the way to go. Right?
Ballsy.
Like,
yeah.
Well, named ballsy because he had all the power because he just came off of 2 successful Guardians movies, and there was a big uproar for.
I wouldn't say he had all the power. Wasn't he under a lot of scrutiny for a lot of different things?
Yeah, but DC needed big time directors. He wasn't even under scrutiny, correct? Because it was old tweets that he apologized for. Like it seemed like Marvel and Disney jumped the gun, and obviously they did and I didn't mean that pun at all. That accidentally come out, but
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. But because they rehired him back for the movie, so clearly, like after an investigation, they were like, okay, yeah, like he just made some stupid, crude jokes. They weren't racist. So he didn't say anything racist or anything like that. Like it was more like, I don't know what you do when you're like in your own house behind closed doors, and it kind of may gross me out. But like, I don't think you should have your movie taken away.
I agree.
So yeah, but it's nice to see him just dunk on people too, saying like, no, no character was protected by DC. They gave me carte blanche to do what I wanted. That was one of the things we agreed before I came to work for them. I wasn't looking for shock value, but I wanted the audience to know anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's pretty cool that he kind of set the standard like that. There are things with this movie that I'm excited about, and things that I am.
I have a question for you about this comment.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think that this means that one of the original members from the first Suicide Squad movie will die?
Well, let's think of who's in there. There's Harley Quinn. There's Boomerang.
We shouldn't count Harley Quinn, first of all, because she's like, there's no way they're going to kill Harley Quinn in a Suicide Squad movie when you can make more Harley Quinn movies and shows. So
there's Boomerang, and because you can always bring Boomerang's son in.
Yep, you're right there. That's one that may get my vote. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, and Viola Davis.
They're not getting rid of Viola Davis, I don't think.
No,
I don't think you get rid of Amanda Waller, especially that character. I was kind of upset with the way they did it. They handled it at the end of the movie cut, but or the theatrical cut. So I guess, of those two, if I had to guess, they could kill Flag. They could kill Boomerang. And actually, I mean, killing Boomerang might be a plot device to bring a new character in.
Yeah, or you could, like I said, you could kill Rick Flag and have a new person, just new army dude, be Rick Flag too.
Because you don't have Enchantress there anymore, and he was kind of the love story for Enchantress in the first movie, so that was kind of purpose.
But I mean, you could just have like the army guy leading the Suicide Squad people, kind of deal, right? So I think that. But what you said about Captain Boomerang's son, and Captain Boomerang's son is in Suicide Squad, the video game, or that's what people think anyway. That's Captain Boomerang's son.
Clay said he wants it's a gun to surprise everybody getting Harley axed. No. It would definitely surprise me, for sure. I'd be pretty pissed off. That might be a situation where I get up and walk out of the movie theater.
Oh, I wouldn't watch the whole movie. I might disagree with him, but I think that's definitely what HBO, WB, Warner Media is going to do after the big, great financial year they're having. Making all that money, I'm sure that's exactly what they're going to do, is let somebody kill a potential franchise character for nothing, for just one movie that she's not even really the main star and she's just part of an ensemble cast.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, once again, I don't think it's happening. It would be crazy if it did, Clay, and you know what? If it does, I'll admit I was wrong and I'll eat some crow. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Same. But
Yeah.
I also want to give Clegg a little bit of credit here in the chat because he's saying we have to embrace the multiverse. So when one Harley dies, another comes to take her place, just like the Flash show.
Right. But so, he even said it in this chat, Clay did. He said, what if the Suicide Squad's in its own universe? Well, we already know that it's in Snyder's universe. Right.
Well, we don't know if this one is. We don't know. This could you
But
could
doesn't
only be.
Batfleck being in Suicide Squad
But this
kind of
isn't.
confirm
This
that?
isn't. I don't know if this is Suicide Squad 2, Craig. I don't exactly
So this
know.
could be. So what we're saying is this could be a you're right. I guess we don't even know. This could be a
Well,
Suicide Squad from a different world.
yeah, this could
Right.
be Suicide Squad from Earth 34, where uh, those four characters are in Suicide Squad, whereas on Earth.
You there? Oh no. I think something happened. He may have lost his internet. Travis, you there, buddy? Well, folks, looks like he did lose his internet, lose something. Not sure what happened there. So I guess I'll keep going. Talking about it being a different universe. I don't know if I would do that, to be truly honest with you, because then you're really, really, really playing fast and loose with rules. If you're just allowing yourself to have a different universe, everything you say is, oh, well, it's a different universe type deal. I mean, that for me is just playing way too fast and loose with the rules. I mean, because then you could, like I said, you can make up anything you wanted to, and you could just make the excuse of, oh, it was a different Earth, different universe. And I get they're going to do that to a certain extent with certain things, but I feel like when you start to do that with everything, that it kind of waters down the content. Because it changes the stakes for everything. Because what difference does it make if somebody dies if it's just different Earth and we can have them back on another one type deal? So, wait, folks, I'm going to go check on Travis real quick. So let me actually, he's messaging me right now. So let's see. Computer crashed. Gotcha. So I'm going to keep the feed going until Travis gets back. So hopefully his computer will come back on in a moment. My phone's at 3%, so let me message him and see what's up. But somebody in the chat talk to me. Give me something to talk about. Let's see. I gotta find the chat room. There we are. Oh, I don't hear anybody in there. Well, anyway, I probably cut most of this out in post. So let me actually write that time down. Travis dropped out on accident. Computer crash. That's where we are right now. We were talking about Suicide Squad. I'm going to talk about a few things about Suicide Squad that really bother me. Not really bother me, but things that I feel like might be a problem. And it may not be a problem based on what I see. Just initially thinking, I'm looking at John Cena's costume, and everybody talks about, or James Gunn talks about, how he's the one of the best characters in there. There's a possibility of him having a show in the future. So this character is going to have a future in the DC universe. The look, man, the look is just insane. And I get that we have a polka dot man, but the look of John Cena is just absolutely, hey, what's up, buddy? You're back? Good deal. Let's hear the vocals.
Hello.
All right, good deal. So we're all good. Well, dude, I kept trucking, man. I stopped for a second, try to figure stuff out, but I kept trucking, and I started talking about things that bothered me about Suicide Squad.
Oh, geez.
Not bothered me, but questions I have about it.
You went down a rabbit hole there.
Yeah, questions I had about it. But real quick, you were talking about, the last thing you were talking about was Suicide Squad being, it could be a completely different universe.
Yeah, it could be on its own Earth, and you could have the David Ayers Suicide Squad being on a different Earth that is on Zack Snyder's Earth. Like you like it could. But
the only point I raised about that while you were gone is, while I can get that, you can get too extreme with that and water the content down and make no stakes in the universe. Like, if you make it where everything you say is fixed by, well, it's a different universe or different Earth, then you can kill or do anything to anybody and be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, and there's no stakes. Think about, I'm just saying, I'm saying you can do it every once in a while, but you can't do that for everything and be like, well, this is a different universe. This is a different universe, a different universe. Because then somebody dying in that universe, you're just like, well, okay,
Greg, it
I'll go to this Earth,
affects
and
it. Yeah, but it affects every person in that universe. Like that's the thing. They're not saying it like, oh, we can do whatever we want because it's. They're just saying that we can bring that character, like we can use that character in another like at another time. Like if we kill this character, it doesn't mean this character's gone forever.
right, but you
That's
can't use them in that universe. I'm saying, but so if you're saying this Suicide Squad 2 is its own
yeah, but
universe,
you
that's
blows up.
one movie. You're not going to be
Yeah,
attached to all the characters in one movie, and
Greg,
they
if
die.
you blow up Polka Dot Man, you're not going to be like, I want to use Polka Dot Man again in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Like you're not in that universe, wherever it is. You're not going to want to use it again. But let's say if uh, 5 years from now, in a Flash movie, someone wants to use Polka Dot Man as a
Mhm.
villain that he captures, you can do that, not be beholden to we can't use Polka Dot Man because he was killed 5 years ago in Suicide Squad
And
in the
I
first
get
scene.
that. I get that. What I'm saying is like say Harley Quinn is the one that gets killed in Suicide Squad, just by chance. And we say, well, it's okay. It was a different universe. And the next movie that comes out with DC has Harley Quinn has Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. You think that's going to be less confusing
That's
than
never going to
Justice League?
happen, though.
Okay, that's what
You're
I'm
asking
afraid of. Though. That's
stuff.
all I'm saying is that's what the problem with saying that it's okay, you can change anything to saying it's a different universe could be. I don't think it's going to go down
Greg,
that path, but that's a problem it could have.
Greg. What the different universes is a director can do what he wants, and ultimately, if you are a fan of and a pusher of Zack Snyder's Justice League, you have to be for that. You can't be
Mhm.
like, no, I don't want you to kill Harley because 5 movies from now I want to see her, or I don't want or you're not allowed to kill Harley because next movie in a different universe she's going to be in it. No, that's not how this works. You should be allowed to do whatever you want, whenever you want. I agree with the saturation thing. If you bring Harley Quinn in, kill her, bring her in 5 different versions of her, yes. But like ideally, like if you wanted to show her again, like if she died in this uh, Suicide Squad James Gunn one, and you wanted to do another Harley Quinn movie, let's say in a couple years, do another like similar to Birds of Prey, but actual Harley Quinn movie, maybe Gotham City Sirens. You can't use her in Gotham City Sirens because she was killed in uh, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. That don't make any sense to me. You should be able to do it, and you can just say we're doing another story with Harley.
Yeah.
So I think that like you can do now if you killed somebody 3 or 4 times, I understand that is
Right. You don't be. I
overkill.
don't have a Kenny
But even
of the
if you
universe.
killed Harley Quinn, it affects every person in in the Suicide Squad of that movie in that universe.
Oh, I know. I'm
So
I'm
they
just saying,
are
what
so
if you never
stakes are
have
real,
another? Okay.
but stakes are real for all those people in that movie in that world. The
Okay.
stakes are still real. It's just a little less real for us as the audience, but not it's not even less real
Well,
until
and that's what I mean.
we get another
Who really
appearance.
cares about how real the stakes are in the fake world that we're talking about in the story? You want it to be real for the audience. You want them to feel that. Who cares what the characters actually feel in the imaginary world they're making up? You want the audience to feel the emotion and feel the
But you
draw.
need the
So
characters to feel the emotion for the audience to feel the emotion. So you can't say who cares about the characters feeling emotion in this world. You're not going to feel the emotion as an audience member if the characters aren't feeling the emotion. So that's all you need. You don't
yeah.
need because if you watch that movie, especially as a general audience member, and then let's say you and I know that in 3 movies there's going to be Gotham City Sirens, and we're going to get Harley Quinn as part of a 3 girl team.
Hmm.
Those people watching the general audience people watching that movie doesn't know that, so they're
Hmm.
just in this world,
Hmm.
and then you just pick up, and then you'd
But
explain
don't
to
you
them
think they'll
there.
be more confused? I'm saying that it doesn't seem more confusing than, or just as confusing
It
as what
won't.
we're
I
talking.
don't think it will. I think it would if you with your scenario of Harley Quinn dies in this movie, and then the next DC movie we see Harley Quinn's alive going around. I think
Hmm.
that can be confusing. But I think for general audience members, I don't think that eventually. I don't think that
So you think that
it's
in
going
a
to
few
matter as
years will
much.
make them
Yeah.
kind of forget about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might. I don't know about that. It might, but we'll
Whereas
see.
with us, I think that is we
Yeah.
all know that okay, that's going to be a different version of Harley, different Earth. It's
Right.
no different than like let's say for example Joker like uh in Assault on Arkham, the Suicide Squad animated movie that's kind of a little similar to David is. Some things taken from David Ayers.
Hmm.
David Ayer took some things from that. Joker falls out of a helicopter and it explodes, and Joker will probably come back. So I don't know what is more.
Well,
Like,
we've never confirmed
imply
death there. Never saw a
implausible.
body.
Yeah,
That's true.
see,
That's true.
that's the stuff that you got to disbelieve, like suspend belief
I hear
anyway. So,
you. Mhm.
but I do understand what you're saying. It is something that you got to figure out is how to educate the general audience
Right.
in multiverse and different versions of characters and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
All right. One more thing that I'm worried about with Suicide Squad, not worried about, but wondering about how it's going to turn out is King Shark. Because in a movie, one, doing that is going to be difficult. I feel it's going to be really, really difficult. Now, they did Killer Croc really well. I think King Shark's going to be a little different than Killer Croc as far as how to do it. I think he's going to be way more like just mainly just CGI. I think the character kind of has to be. And I worry about that because the rest of the movie we've seen is relying on heavily on practical effects. Now I wonder if the movie relying heavily on practical effects is maybe saving money to make a better King Shark, CGI type thing. But I'm just worried about this character in in live action. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if I could what a movie quality King Shark's going to be.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Greg. I thought that King Shark from The Flash looked fantastic.
Really?
Oh, I've never ever had an issue with, I'm quick to call out stuff that I
Hmm.
don't think is good,
Okay.
but never had an issue with King Shark in The Flash. Now, do I have issue with The Flash's digital version, like CGI version in
Oh no, does the computer crash again? Tell me the computer didn't crash again. Oh no. Sounds like it did. Hmm. We were having problems. He's gonna fire his internet company, or not fire it, but at least change over to another one. So second time. Let me message him. I'm sure that he crashed again. All right. Well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Well, no, I don't want to do that because he's gonna be back on in just a few minutes. So I'm gonna continue what I was talking about with Killer Shark. Uh Everything I've seen about this movie so far has been practical effects, the explosions, the characters, the costumes. Hey, he's back.
He's not very happy.
Not very happy. Okay, dude, for a computer to crash and you be
No,
back
this
that
is the
quick, that's
internet.
pretty
This is
good.
the internet. This is the
Okay,
internet.
okay, I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just continue where you're going because I
Oh
was going to
yes,
start
keep
something else,
powering.
but go ahead, keep going.
Keep powering through.
Oh
Let's
no,
do
I was just
this.
continuing what I was saying about Killer Shark. The reason why I feel like it might be difficult, and I think it's funny you say that you didn't mind. I guess I didn't mind. It wasn't terrible.
The
The Flash's
Flash,
Killer Shark,
no, the
but
Flash
or
looked a
King Shark.
lot. The Flash looked a lot worse in the CGI model. Then King Shark looked fantastic every time. But the people around him and Flash interacting with him, like when Flash is fighting him, I
Okay.
think that kind of looks more ridiculous. But when you see King Shark talking and like actually being it, I don't have a problem with that. So if you have a movie budget of that, I think that's good. But I don't know if it's going to be practical or CGI. I'm not sure on that.
Well, what if they
So it
did a
could be.
King Shark like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style? I could see something like that
You
maybe.
could, you could, you could.
In
And
this
then you
day
could
and
get away
age.
with not saying CGI, even though it's made up of partly CGI with
Right.
dots
Right.
all over the face kind of deal. Yeah. But now, also, it could be practical too, because let's not forget, Suicide Squad won for makeup, won an Oscar for
Yeah,
makeup.
you're right. You're right. I just don't know how. I mean, I guess I thought the same thing about Killer Croc. Like when I was
Also,
thinking about it, good.
Ninja Turtles from the new Ninja Turtles movie to the old Ninja Turtles movies, which ones look better?
The old ones,
There you
100%,
go. And
100%.
what were the old
And that's what
ones?
I'm worried about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
But we
Is them
don't.
relying on CGI and it not looking as good as it could.
But he said that the majority of the movie is practical. Like
Okay.
we see the
Well,
wires, the behind the scenes thing that we got at fandom was
have we seen any photos of King Shark?
I don't
Any kind
think
of
so.
other than concept art or the picture that we saw in Empire the other day?
I think
Because
that's
he was
it.
in the background of the picture, but you couldn't tell if it was CGI or if it was just something drawn in there. So, but
Well, it's Michael Rooker too, who he loves. So
yeah. All right. You got anything else, Suicide Squad?
no, just excited. Can't wait for it. I hope I get to see two versions of Suicide Squad next year.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. It's fun. You know, it's funny is I say that I would watch the 2 versions of Suicide Squad where they're both out there. Once Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, I will not watch the 2 versions of Justice League. You know,
That's true. I don't
I'm not. I'm not.
know.
I'm just
No,
not.
you're right. You're right. You're right. Not doing it. Not doing it. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
it's
just like I've
different.
never gone back and watched the theatrical cut of BVS after I
Yeah,
watched
never
the.
will.
Yeah, there's just no point. Why? Why go back and watch it? There's nothing in them that I want to see that I can't see better or in this. But I don't feel like it's weird. I don't feel like that. I want to say I don't feel like Suicide Squad was as I don't know, near and dear to my heart. Definitely wasn't as Batman vs Superman, but it is weird that I don't feel that at all. Like I would still go back and watch the old Suicide Squad. I don't know though.
But I
If the
enjoyed
haircut
it.
blows me away, I may not. I may be
Well,
like, you know
yeah,
what? Screw the old cut.
maybe it's a completely
So
different movie. And the harder thing to watch about the Justice League is the like Superman mouth and the Batman smile and the like cut off of the plot where Steppenwolf finds the mother box in the parking lot and whatever. Let's not even talk about it. Let's play through and touch on uh, a person that I do owe a lot of thanks to for a lot of uh, great content because Mark Guggenheim has officially left the Arrowverse, or as I like to call it, the DCCW. Uh,
I prefer that.
this is pretty much the world's worst kept secret because he hasn't been a showrunner for a while now. Uh, he directed a Legends episode last season, but
Mhm.
mostly he's been shepherding Crisis. And with Crisis ending and Arrow ending, uh, he really didn't have a place with the Air DCCW anymore. So he's officially said that, like, yeah, I closed that chapter. Now, if like there's a crossover in a couple of years and they want to bring him back to write or anything, I'm sure he will. But for the time being, he's not going to be directly involved with the DCCW anymore, and he's moving on to Green Lantern for with HBO Max,
Mhm.
and also I want to say he's writing uh, some sort of Spider-Man character for Sony. I can't remember. I want to say something Potluck or uh, something Lock. I can't remember what it is now. This is a ridiculously weird name. I know it's Bell Guy and Snell are like, dude, you should know what this is.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm blanking on it right now.
I hear.
Uh, so
But
yeah, I think that's perfect.
yeah. A couple questions about this. Real quick, in the chat, Barry Holland says, "Where's Booster Gold?" I agree 100%. Where's Booster Gold? Let's see him live action. You could do that. You could do some Blue Beetle, some Booster Gold. It'd be really fun. I want to see it.
Till Barry, I've been waiting for Booster Gold and Blue Beetle Tig Cord for ages
I want to
in
see it.
the DCCW. Tig Cord was hinted at about 1,800 times in
Mm-hmm.
Flash and Arrow, and my God, we even had Booster Gold in Smallville, and we didn't get him in Flash or Arrow or Legends or anything yet, which is very strange. That's a character that has a lot of potential to be kind of like a Deadpool of DC, in my opinion, but uh, I don't know if we'll get anything with that for a while. I think Berlanti wants to do something with him, but Ray Palmer was supposed to be Ted Cord, so I don't know what will happen there.
Right. Well, my question about this Guggenheim thing is, I'm reading the article and he's talking about. It sounds like what he's saying to me is like we're going to make a 10 movie series, 10 series, 10-part mini series like a movie. And I'm like, to me, that just doesn't. It sounds like coach speak to me. Is it basically saying you're going to have the budget of a movie for a 10-part series?
he
Because
he
doesn't
essentially
every
go down a little bit further in the article. He essentially says we're making a TV show with a movie budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is that all that really means? Because it sounds like kind of
Yeah.
coach speak. Because isn't everybody who's making a TV show wanting to make it like good, like as good as a movie, like interesting like a
No,
movie?
but you can't. Like where he's coming from, the DCCW, you don't have the time or the resources to make it as good as a movie. Some stuff is,
Okay.
but you got to get an episode out. Like it's a machine. It's a machine. You
I
got
think
like
he even says
an
there's
eight.
something about filler
Yeah.
in this article. Yeah.
Not only that, you have like 8 days or something to turn around a whole episode once you start rolling.
hmm
Uh, Maybe longer, maybe a couple weeks, but like it's pretty hectic. So I think he'll be happy to get out of that and just have to do these 10 episodes for one season. I think it's 10, might be 8. I'm not sure exactly how many episodes we'll get for the Green Lantern show, but it's pretty cool. And let's see, you got a shot here now because uh, his name is attached to the first Green Lantern movie. So after DCCW, and you're going with, oh my God, Berlanti. So let's see what you can do here. I He had made some questionable choices for me, but dude was there from the start of Arrow, and I find it so weird. This is the first year in 8 years that I'm not watching Arrow. In
Yeah.
September, in October of, it's been since 2012, I think.
Well, let's
Greg,
be
I'm pretty
real. You're
sure.
still gonna watch Arrow this
No,
year.
but it
Not
doesn't.
new
It's,
Arrows, what you mean? I know. I'm just
yeah,
messing with
it's
you.
like I'm so sad, man. It's just
Yeah.
I loved it, and like I said, I'm very frozen, icy cold on DCCW for now. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But I did enjoy some of the things he did, some stuff I didn't. But like I said, I'll judge this accordingly. But I'm glad that I want to see movie quality budget, like effects. I want to see movie quality effects and movie, like, just movie quality, but TV series streaming. That's what you asked for. That's what you get. So
Mm.
thumbs up
Well,
on that.
and you were talking about him being associated with the last Green Lantern movie, and he even pokes at it in this article talking about returning to the scene of the crime, kind of joking about the movie. And I feel like maybe once again, I don't mind that movie. It's not my favorite movie ever, but I do enjoy the movie. There were things about it that were wrong, of course, things about it that I would have changed, but there's things about it like that with every movie. But I feel like him poking at it kind of like that is kind of accepting that, okay, maybe I messed up here and here and here, and this is where I've got to go in the future. And maybe it is a nice to have a second shot at the same kind of character, but now you have knowledge of where you may have necessarily failed the first time, or at least some people feel like you failed the first time.
Well, we don't exactly know either. That script had more rewrites than uh, an essay that I tried to do. So,
Right.
I mean, we don't know where he was in the writing process. Maybe he was in the first script, and what came at the end, the final product was drastically different from what he written. So we don't know there. Uh, but even so, he does have knowledge of the character. I'm not. I trust him. I think that especially when he's managed correctly, he can be great. I think the problem is when you have too much confidence in him and you let him do too much. I don't think he's as good. But I'm very curious and excited to see. This is essentially what people have been asking for with the DCCW shows. The people that complain about them is TV show, but they want movie quality budget and movie quality effects, and
But
you're
you're
going to
never
get
going to
that
get that
here.
with DCCW with 23
No,
episodes a season. Just not going to.
and just
You want that?
CW with
Like I
the
said, yeah, cut it down.
Greg, with the numbers the CW shows pull, they're not getting that. It's just not happening.
You don't think that if they cut down to like 12 episodes a season, they could have better
Oh
special
my God,
effects?
I'm out. Yes, because I'm not 100% sure on that though, because you cut down your episodes, the money they're giving you to do the whole thing is going down as well. So who's to say that they wouldn't just give them the exact same much per episode that they get for the 23 for 12? We don't exactly know there. So that, like, those are all questions that I would love to have answered, but we don't know. But for the overall concept, I'm excited to see what Guggenheim can do, especially managed by people like Berlanti.
Yeah. Well, okay. One other thing that bothered me, not bothered me, but maybe kind of question about this that he said in this article. He said, even though it's streaming, even though people hopefully will binge it, you've got to make each episode a satisfying meal. Marketing wise, wouldn't you rather go like the route like we're starting to see more shows go back to now, where it's a weekly release? So people are talking about it for 8-9 weeks as it's going on, as opposed to one weekend.
Well, I think that's exactly what he's saying there.
But binging it would be watching it all at
No.
once, right?
Well, he said some people might do that, but they still need to make every episode its own thing so that the people you have are watching weekly
Okay.
are into it. Whereas sometimes when you're binging, some shows might not get good until the third episode in first season. That's very distinct possibility. A Community, for example, I don't think gets good really until the fourth or fifth episode of the first
Doom
season.
Patrol
Same, well, for
was
you,
like that for
yeah.
me. Yeah.
So
Doom Patrol's like that for me.
but when you only got 10 episodes of a miniseries like that, you need every episode to be on point, a la Watchmen or The Boys, or like when you need you can't have any, when you have low episode counts, you can't have any mistakes. Every episode got to be like, same with Mandalorian. Every episode got to be an event. Like there's a different director, there's like a kind of thing. I think the same thing needs to be here. Every episode you need to be like, whoa, like this was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
So
that's
I
what
like
we're
those
going.
goals, like setting those goals, right?
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, you want to take the next break now? Or you want to punch through the last little part here?
Let's punch through, and then we'll do the
Would you rather's?
yeah at the
We'll
end.
do a break and would you rather's. All right, cool. All right. Well, what's the next part, man? You want to do Titans?
Titans Red Hood news. Now, first of all, before we get into the really cool image, I need a second because I don't Titans. When you release a 15-second, I won't say clip, but video, where you're teasing something like the Red Hood, and you don't give out any other information, but you release that 15 seconds, a lot of people are going to assume that 15 seconds is a small part of something bigger, something like be a little bit longer and clip. They don't really expect that's that's concept art, isn't it? That isn't exactly Karen Walters in the suit. Like that's
It
concept
could
art,
be.
right?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
think it might be
I don't know.
if it isn't, but I expected it to
It
be a
may
little
not
bit
be
more.
him in it, but it could be a mannequin, a suit,
Yeah.
like a suit around a mannequin.
But I kind of expected more, Greg. Like I expected to see even him in the suit for one scene, 1 second, like a live action picture. But no, that's not what we got, and that was a big tease. So I just think, while I think that the suit that they shared is fire, like is amazing. I love it. I just think that they built that up way more. Like it's just continuing. Like you can't stick a landing, you can't stick this promotion either because you built that up to be a lot more than what it was, in my opinion.
Titans is good at doing that, aren't
You
they?
didn't
About
need to,
building something up big time and kind of
and
letting you
not paying
down.
off, and not paying it off.
Yeah, they're really good at that, dude.
Like reality, you did not need to tease. Come back here in 24 hours. We're going to share something like cool. You didn't need to tease it for just
release
that.
the picture. You're right.
Yeah. So that was my complaint about the whole thing because it seemed like they were looking for traffic for 2 days in a row, and I don't think that was a smart move.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the suit is amazing, Greg. Amazing.
There's only one part I don't like about it. I'll talk about. Well, not don't like about it, but I'm kind of iffy about.
Is that the hood?
No. It's but I'll tell you about it in a second. I want to give you my thoughts on it. The same thing you were just talking about. I agree. When you sent that about there's going to be the thing coming out, I was like, oh, cool. We're going to get some kind of clip, some kind of something, live action picture, this and that. And this could be, like I said, the costume on a mannequin. You never know. Fanboy Clay's hitting it right where I'm at. He's talking about in the chat. I'm about to be there in a second. But yeah, to release the picture, it was just like, well, like I like seeing the picture, but you could have shown me the picture at any point in time.
Yeah.
And it was a big letdown because I even was going to message you earlier and ask you, be like, is this picture it? Did I miss something? Was there a video floating around it and see? Because I couldn't believe it was just the picture. And I did a little research for a message and I was like, oh yeah, it is just the picture. But okay, now on to my gripes with the suit. The suit does look amazing. I like it. And overall, I think it's great. Like I'll deal with it. I'll not deal with it. I'll enjoy it. I like it. The helmet does bother me. Clay says it's a bit oversized. For me, it does. Maybe not a bit oversized. It kind of looks like a cracked Iron Man helmet with Deadpool eyes.
But I mean, it kind of looks really similar to the under the Red Hood helmet. It might be a little bit bigger, but like I said, I think
It
this
looks
is
metal.
I'm pretty confident this is just concept art.
Yeah, it could be. I don't want it to be metal. I don't want his face plate. I don't want to be him be wearing a helmet. I want to be wearing a mask. I guess is my
But
thing.
it's more helmet style though. Like especially in Red Hood,
But
under the Red Hood.
in the anime series, watched it was cloth. He could pull it off.
Greg, he had an explosion tied to it, and like an explosion to it, and like exploded it with like a thing, and like he threw it down and made a noise. It wasn't cloth. It was like a helmet. He like went and took it off. Like it was a full helmet. It was not a cloth like anything like Batman wears or Deathstroke. It was not. It was a full blown like helmet. I thought. I mean,
Maybe I just missed that, man. I guess in my mind, I don't know. I picture it as a mask or a cowl more than a helmet
yeah.
type
But I
deal.
mean,
And I
I've
know a
seen the same
cowl
thing
was
with
not
like
exactly like that, but
Jensen Ackles did some sort of photo shoot, and his thing was similar to this. Really, now I know that's a photo shoot for cosplay of an actor who wants to play a role,
mhm.
but I think that this is just concept art too. So we gotta, who knows what it could be? Like, it could be some very like lightweight material that you
But
might not.
why would they do that? Why would they build up the hype like that to release one
Oh,
concept art picture?
because it's Titans. You answered your
That's
question when
true.
we
You're
first
right.
when
You're
I
right.
asked it, because you said they're not good at sticking landings, or they're
Yeah.
not good. Like, this is cool. You didn't need to build up 24 hours of build up. Like, I listened, like I said, I listened to fans today that Brent and Ray were on talking, and they were like, "We're going to get this Titan news. They're teasing tomorrow." Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm really excited. We'll talk
Right.
about that. We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk, and now they're going to talk
Now
about
they
it for next
probably won't
week.
even talk about it because
Oh,
it's just so
they
boring.
will, for probably
Yeah.
all 5 minutes, being like, "Oh,
Right.
we got this concept art here," because it's what it is. I looked it up even more. It's concept art.
Mhm.
So who
Okay.
knows? Like, for your and Clay's concerns, like, if it's a gigantic ass helmet, like, I'll agree with you. Like, I don't really. I think Flash's costume could be better in the BVS, where the helmet
Okay.
sticks out. So I mean, you can have quibs about it, like
Mhm.
you guys have here, but
But
I want to see
overall, yeah.
Kieran Walters in the costume first before I think we may have more gripes about how he actually becomes the Red Hood, because I seen Clay in the chat earlier say, "I want the crowbar. I want the
It's
crowbar
not going to
too."
happen. They already
I
said
don't,
the crowbar's not happening.
so we're going to, I don't think the helmet size or a helmet being made of steel is going to be our number one complaint. I think we're going to
Mhm.
be frustrated by other things,
You're
unfortunately.
probably right. And honestly, if I
I
saw
hope
this,
I'm
I
not.
wouldn't
I
be
hope
that
I'm
upset
not.
with it. And now
Greg,
that I zoom out on
Greg,
the picture, I see what Clay's saying. The helmet does
yeah,
look really big compared to the rest of the body. But I wouldn't be upset with this. Like I could still
yeah,
live with this. It'd be pretty cool. It's cooler than a lot of costumes I've seen before. But that was just one thing. I look at it, it looks like Iron Man with Deadpool's eyes.
yeah.
So
And that's completely fine. I think that too. It's no
yeah.
big deal. I'm
So
sure that's not going to stop you from watching it. I want them to do more, like, focus more on storytelling anyway than cool things. So,
yeah. um. Oh crap.
so we have besides the Titans reveal, we had a Batwoman reveal as well of her suit, of her newly designed suit, which I think looks pretty cool.
Does look
Uh,
awesome.
I don't. Uh, is She says it's important that viewers could tell by the silhouette that Batwoman was a black girl. Uh, I don't think you need the silhouette to tell that. Like, I didn't think this looked any like different to me, like the second picture
Hmm.
or even the first picture. Like, I don't think I like it, none of them. Her face is what would tell me that, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
more than anything. But I, I don't have any issues with it or the way either one of these pictures are. I think both of them are fire, and the suit is fantastic. So, uh, and in terms of the silhouette being black, I mean, like, for example, Batman the animated series was drawn entirely on dark paper. So, like, I don't see uh, the need for, like, I could tell that without silhouette is kind of what
Right.
I'm trying to say there.
Yeah.
But I also like how you show other, like, young black women that, like, this is a role model you can look up to,
Hmm.
that you could, like, aspire to be, not, don't actually go out, be a vigilante in the streets. I'm not talking
Right.
about that, but you
Right.
know what I mean, like
Be
a
strong.
badass, like,
Be
have those
strong. Be
qualities.
brave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have
Type
those
deal. I get you.
qualities. And
No, I agree with you, man. And I think it looks great. I think she's gonna be an awesome Batwoman. Like,
I still have issues with the whole being
yeah,
Ryan
I get
Wilder
that, but
thing.
I'm not
So
gonna
yeah,
hold her. I'm not gonna hold that against
no,
her.
yeah,
I think
you're
she's
right.
gonna do a great job. She looks great for the role. I think the pictures were awesome. The red hair it seems a little like it seems I don't know, seems a little extreme, but I mean it's not like it's that bad. I mean, like I said, I'm enjoying the take on it, I'm sure. I do have one issue with this, and I was asking about this earlier, and I want to talk to somebody about this because it's not an issue, it's a legitimate question. Because I truly do feel like it doesn't matter. I don't care if they portray Batwoman as white or black. I really don't care. I just want to see a good portrayal of the character. I don't care. And that's what, whenever they casted a black female and the role, was the issue, was people were saying, well, some people were saying that, and then people were making the argument, well, it doesn't matter. We want the best character for the best role. Yes. So if you're making the argument there that you don't want race to be an issue and you don't want race to be a part of anything with that, why then do you take the picture and post it saying we wanted to make sure everybody knew it was a black woman? But I thought race didn't matter about it. Like, I thought the argument was it didn't matter. Why does it? And I'm legitimately asking this. I don't know, because to me it doesn't make sense. Like, why in one statement you'd say it shouldn't matter what race you are, but in this picture you say we want to make sure people know this is a black woman, which I have no problem with. It's awesome. But
we just discussed this, though. That's what I'm not getting at. I didn't understand with your whole question in the whole chat group is we just talked about this. You're letting other young black women know that there's a role model that you can look at that looks like you. Why you're not getting this is because 99.99999 repeating percent of the role models you look up to are just like you. So you need to think about that. That doesn't even same thing with me. All my sports heroes, all my comic book heroes, everything like that, they all look like me. I have no issue seeing anybody that looks like me in any walk of life. So I think I can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you have other people that they're not represented in certain aspects of the world or certain aspects of things. So I think that's what they don't want it to be a reason why you don't get a job or don't get a role. But they want to show other people of your whatever class, representation, whatever culture, anything. They want to show that other people can do that too. They just want to show.
I think I understand. That's why I wanted to talk to somebody about this and ask questions about it, because I think that I understand why what you're saying here is, when it comes to the hiring process and who's going to play this role, that shouldn't matter who it is. It's the best person for the role.
Yeah.
But when there is a person in that role, you want them to the people that look like her to look up to her and feel like that's something they can like. And I get, because those are two kind of different things.
Yeah, in 15 years.
I mean, they do have a little bit to do with each other, but because one happens because of the other. But because this happened, now you can do this. Okay, that makes sense, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I don't know, like, legitimately that makes sense.
And I know what you're saying. You don't. I don't think you want the people who are doing the hiring to be like, okay, we can capitalize on all this other stuff if we hire this person, regardless of how good or bad they are as an actor compared to the other actors. And that is a perfectly valid thing to think and to voice. That is perfectly. But this is not what I don't think we're getting here. I think this is more of a
different issue. And that was what I was confused about.
Yeah. I do want, like, who knows, maybe 15 years from now, somebody watches, a 10-year-old girl watches this Batwoman show in season 2, and she gets inspired from it, and maybe becomes an actress as well in 20 years down the road, becomes anything. So that's what I hope we get out of that. But I'm more concerned with Ryan Wilder, the transition to Ryan Wilder from Kate Kane, and how every character is going to be affected from that.
That's going to be.
Those are the things that I'm worried about more than. And like I said before, I don't think I need they didn't need to do the black. Tell me about the black silhouette thing. Like, I can see from the pictures regardless, and you need to do stuff for me, like the way Kate hid her hair with the wig. I'm going to need to see some form, like, that's the stuff that I need to see. I'm okay with her hair being like that if you give me it's all done up when she's out of the suit kind of deal. Like, you need to have some different, like, I can't have her walk out with the exact same hair as Ryan Wilder, like, in her day-to-day life, or I'm just going to be checking out already, because you need to try to hide it at least. So
make it a different character.
Because like I said, Kate Kane had that big red wig. When she takes off her whole thing, she don't even have hair compared to the Batwoman. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to see. But this costume, fire, love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the costume looked great. Like I said, the character looked great for the role, man. That is a beautiful picture. Like, awesome. I can't wait to see it in live action. And
like, no offense to Ruby Rose, but I'm sorry, Javicia Leslie looks like 100 times more badass.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to say more badass. I haven't actually compared the two, but I didn't feel the same way when I saw Ruby Rose's for the first time in the Bat costume as I did when I saw this. And like, when I saw this, I'm like, holy crap, this looks awesome. So yeah, or at least I don't remember feeling that way.
So one final thing before we get into our last break for the before the two, is it 2 or 3 this week?
There was
3
3 this week because we
3
had
was
one request by
from
Mr.
Snell.
Snell. Yeah, he put a
That
good one out there, and I was
we
like,
kind
oh,
of
I like that
answered.
one.
We kind of answered it, but we'll talk about what the listener said as well. Stargirl as Nick Tarabay as Eclipso, and Jonathan Cake as the Shade. So, Greg, those are 2. Shade was teased as early as the first episode in the first encounter with Starman and the JSA.
Calypso is the very end, right?
Calypso's very end. So, but Shade is teased a couple times throughout the season. So, what do you think about these 2 casting? Do you know these actors?
I don't.
From anywhere?
I didn't look them up. I bet if I saw them, I might know them.
Well,
but
in your defense, we got this news after we started recording.
Right.
Or right just as we were just about to start recording, actually.
Yeah. So can you tell me what either of them are in? Because I could probably, if I saw them, I'd probably recognize them. But
Nick Tarabay has been in Star Trek Into Darkness as a Klingon. He was in Pacific Rim as Sonny. I think he was in Arrow. I'm pretty sure he was in Arrow as Digger Harkness. Oh my God, that's who's Digger Harkness from Captain Boomerang from DCCW is Eclipso.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And okay, that's wow. Talk about DC legacy casting. He's going to be like this is the Earth 2. So, like I said, that's pretty cool. And Jonathan Cake, I gotta look him up because I would have noticed that name before. Cake.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think it's something I would remember.
Oh, he was in Legends. He was in an episode of Legends. So they're really Blackbeard. He was Blackbeard. Oh man.
Do you remember that episode?
Yeah,
I do not.
How do I not? Yeah. Well, unless you're asking about after Ray Palmer went out this season, this past season, I know pretty much everything about Legends. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The 2 DCCW alumni coming in back into the DCCW as different characters.
DC keeps it in the family, man. Pulling characters from 20 years ago on screen into the.
I'm really excited to see this. Like, you and I both know we started off this show reviewing Stargirl, and it was a pleasant surprise. We were not expecting. We didn't even know we were going to do it weekly. And then after the first episode, we were like, "Yeah, we're doing this weekly.
You got to cover this." Oh yeah. I just hope that it still has that magic after it goes to CW.
I hope Shade is really good. Well, we got that because after the first couple episodes, every episode was made for CW.
Right, but it wasn't on. Is it the same producers, the same?
Yeah, everything was same.
Everything. Just, they're just moving to CW. Okay.
Yes, it's just
the only thing that can mess that up is that they decide to do it like 23 episodes.
Extend the season because, or maybe they might not have as great of a budget coming from the streaming to the CW.
Right.
Who knows? But I think it'll be fine. I think that show is probably the perfect show for CW.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm interested to see how they're going to cross over the Earths.
But I'm not exactly sure on that because Swamp Thing is doing quite well on CW. So if for numbers, it's shockingly well compared to what people.
Because Swamp Thing's a damn good character and a good show.
Well,
no matter what you put it on. So
that could be it, Greg. But we had so much news today. So you want to get in and wrap up the Would You Rathers before we end the night?
Let's do. But before we go to the Would You Rathers, man, let's take our last break real quick. Once again, union mandated breaks. We're gonna throw an ad in here. Don't pick the ads, just the times. Check out the volume. Gets a little loud sometimes, but we'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right, and we are back. So, yeah, man, all the news. A lot to cover this week. Had a few Would You Rathers. My brain was working pretty good last week, and I thought of a couple good ones. Mr. Snell sent us another one. I'm going to start out with his because you've already talked about it slightly, but because it's kind of the guest Would You Rather. And he's asking if you get one choice, you get to pick one, and it's either with Jared Leto's Joker, you get to have the Deathstroke freeing Lex scene, or a Joker Arkham, or the death of Robin flashback. And I put this up there, and we got a 57.1% death of Robin flashback and a 42.9% of the Deathstroke freeing Lex, which is actually fairly close.
Yeah, closer than I thought.
Yeah, closer than I thought it was going to be. What side do you fall on with this one?
I'm going to go with the Deathstroke freeing Lex Joker Arkham cameo.
Okay.
So what about you?
I'm Death of Robin.
Oh,
Flashback.
we both voted different. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I thought that it'd be pretty cool to see Deathstroke break out Lex Luthor and Arkham and just pass by Joker, have a little conversation with him.
Mhm.
Be cool scene and not take away so much from the Zack Snyder Justice League storyline.
Mhm. I actually agree with that. Like that's the problem with this kind of question. That's why I love posing questions that are kind of that I would love both of them, is because I still would love to see that. Like it'd be
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
I'd love to see the other one as well. I just picked, like I said, that's the one that I picked. I think that you could do the same thing with the Robin flashback to build story for the Batman.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just think that with the death of Robin flashback, you can really mess around, not mess around with, but really connect some things with BVS. You know, you get to the scene where he's looking at the Robin costume. You could flash back to that moment with Robin in the Robin costume laying on the ground just like that, and Batman looking at him. You could show the scene where Batman pulls up and you know, I guess in the animated series the place explodes. I'm not sure if it does it in the comic. I'm not sure how they do that in the movie, but that one scene where Batman's almost there to save him and he doesn't get there, and that's that moment, and that would give you so much more backstory to Batman. Like you could really make people believe Batman a lot more if you can make them feel for the death of Robin, I feel.
That's
So
not a bad idea. Let me do
yeah,
the second one here, Greg.
yeah.
Would you rather have super strength or invulnerability?
Mm.
Invulnerability won 84.6 to 15.4. So invulnerability uh, whoop super strength's ass.
Yeah, and as I think it would, I voted for invulnerability.
Okay,
Invulnerability.
I will take super strength. I voted for invulnerability, but I will argue for super strength on this one.
Okay. Well, with invulnerability, I would say the same thing Walt Gator said is if I want to get strong, I can go to the gym and work out. It's very true, you can, but being strong from working out of the gym is different from super strength. Super strength, so it's a little bit different there. But with invulnerability, it wouldn't matter as much how strong I am if I can withstand everything. Now, it you know I can argue these both ways, so I want to hear your argument with the super strength because I can make an argument for that as well. But just with invulnerability, you just don't have to worry about anything. So not being able to be hurt by anything is a pretty good ability to have. So of those two, I'd probably pick that one.
I would pick that one as well for not being able to get hurt, but
Mm,
super strength can help you in a lot of dicey situations.
mm,
People don't expect it. So if you don't advertise your super strength, you can hide it and use it.
mm,
And as Flash said to Arrow in the first crossover, you can go up and down that salmon ladder 100 million times, and you'll never be what I am. You'll never be as strong as I am. So
mhm.
uh, having super strength can really help you. But like I said, there are other things, other factors. Like Tony said, you can go to gym, make yourself in peak physical condition. But if I get super strength, I can just flick you if I can get you. So
Well, and you know, an argument in the other direction, like I said, I can kind of argue both these sides. Is invulnerability is great, but what if you have invulnerability but no strength, and a car falls on you? Now you're just trapped into this car. You can't get hurt. You're not hurt, but you're trapped into this car. You can't do anything about it. Whereas if you are strong, you're slightly more invulnerable being strong because muscle is much tougher than fat or just no muscle at all. So you're slightly more invulnerable, but at least maybe you could get that car off you if the car fell on you, if you survive the car falling on you. So there's the catch 22 with it right there is if you survive the car falling on you, maybe if you're strong enough, you can lift it off you. If you have invulnerability, you'll survive the
no,
car landing on you, but you may
well,
not be able to get it off you.
if you're strong enough, you may be able to catch it while it's falling on
There you
you.
go. So there's
So
another. That's what I'm saying. So they're both pretty good, which is why I'm surprised. And you know, I go through all these in my head for them out there. That's why I'm kind of surprised. Super strength was so
no,
lost so handsomely
Greg,
to
I could walk down Rush Hour with a blindfold on, whistling and skipping if I was on invulnerable and not blinking an eye. So I can,
well, hold on.
if I had super strength, I would know where I'm going if I'm blindfolded and all that. So I could get hit from a different area and not expect it and eventually get hurt.
Well,
Whereas,
let me ask you. It depends on what matter of super strength you're talking about. Is the Hulk invulnerable?
no,
No, he's just super strong, right? I guarantee he could walk down a street
no,
blindfolded or
he
a
does
bridge
have some,
blindfolded and be okay.
he does have some invulnerability.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
He
I was
does, yeah.
asking.
Like
So
he
yeah,
gets shot with bullets and that.
but
So
that
I
could just be
mean,
because he's so strong. So strong that it bounces off him. You know, you never know. I have to ask Brent. Brent, let me know, man, because I know you'll probably hit us up about this. I'm sure. Uh, is the Hulk invulnerable, or is he just super strong? I want to know.
Combo.
That's right. I think a combo is probably the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The third one was my favorite of the three, if I'm
Oh
being
yeah,
honest with
good.
you.
I like this one. All right.
You get one boom tube brand trip ticket for 3 day stay at one of these locations, assuming you have everything you would need to survive different environments. Would you rather go to Atlantis, which is 25%, the Watchtower, which was 12.5%, Themyscira, which won with 37.5%, and Krypton Pre-Destruction tied for second with 25%.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg, where do you fall on this one?
I voted for Krypton Pre-Destruction, and my second choice would be Atlantis. It's not that I have anything against Themyscira or the Watchtower. The Watchtower is cool because I I personally want to go to space sometime in my life, and I feel like that I'm old enough, or not old enough. I feel like technology is advanced enough at my age where before I die, it'll be available for a civilian to travel to space. I just don't know if it'll be affordable enough for me before I die, but I hope that it is because I want to go to space so bad I can't stand it. Themyscira is cool, um, but at the same time, like I feel like that's kind of like a human history type deal. Not that I've lived that, but people have lived that. Going underwater, just kind of working up, going underwater, living in Atlantis, or not living in, but going to Atlantis would be amazing. I would just be scared of getting hurt there because there are sea creatures, I'm sure, that could probably hurt me. So for me, I'd have to go to Krypton, even though I'm sure there may be alien, creatures that hurt me in Krypton, but they're a civilized nation. So I'm sure it's more like the world we live in now, where you could walk around and not be just murdered by, different kind of creatures. And the technology you have there would be so cool to see. The betrayal they have of Krypton and Man of Steel just blows my mind, and I want to go there and see that. Not even just Man of Steel, in Superman the animated series, man. That Jetsons looking type world. Just for me, that's where I want to go. Like I would love to go to all these, but definitely Krypton Pre-Destruction for me. What'd you vote, man?
So you'd be an architect in Krypton Pre-Destruction, so they wouldn't have little toothpick style
Right.
houses.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I figured that. Just trying to make some money there. That makes sense. Uh, I gotta say, I'm going to destroy this question for you using sound logic. Uh, if you go to Krypton Pre-Destruction,
Mm-hmm.
We know that Brainiac is running. If we're going by superhero discussions, Superman the animated series, we know that Brainiac's running the show pre-destruction. He's in everything. He knows all, sees all. You could potentially end up getting, yes, you're there pre-destruction. What happens if you end up getting thrown in jail? What happens if something happens and you're stuck there and you know what's going to happen? That's first one.
Yeah.
Themyscira, I feel like that's just, if I go to Themyscira, I'm just asking to be straight up murdered,
Right.
straight up killed. I
Yeah.
mean, like, Katie could go there. Sarah could go there, just naming people from the network.
Yeah. Lisa.
So
Yeah.
Lisa. So
Yeah.
I think that I'm asking for death if I go there. So I hope that most of the people that voted Themyscira were women. And as far as Atlantis goes, I'm a surface dweller visiting Atlantis. So I'd say eventually I'm gonna either A, wear it my welcome, or B, find people that aren't too keen on surface dwellers because they're out there, they're orm sycophants that have no time of day for surface dwellers. So, and the Watchtower is full of all of the Justice League, the
Yeah.
entire Justice League. Not really assuming that any of the Justice League are going to hurt me. I think Superman may warm up my coffee with his heat vision, warm up my bowl of porridge with his heat vision, and maybe Flash might tell a joke, but I'm feeling pretty safe up there, to be honest with you, Greg. So I'm going to go with the Watchtower for my safety more than anything.
You know what? The Watchtower is probably the safest bet, but it's not always safe. Go read Identity Crisis. It's not always safe to be in the Watchtower by yourself. Just saying.
Question: Is Batman in the Watchtower? I'm okay.
Yeah.
If Batman's
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I hear you. That's pretty true. But yeah. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed that question, man. That one did get a lot of it wasn't blown out one way or the other. Like it was almost 25% all the way across the board, which would have been really cool. And actually leading it at the beginning was the Watchtower for the first few days.
Should have won. It was the smart call.
I hear you. But
It's a safe call.
all right. Well, I'll try to put a few more of those out there this week. And, hey, fans, if you got any out there you're thinking of, hit me up. And I'll if it's good, I'll put it out there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the judge of anything, if anything is good or not. Usually, if I have to think about it for a second, it's worth putting out there. So
Well, we
hit me up.
put up Snell's, and we basically talked about the entire thing in his. So we'll put it up, listeners. Do you got anything that you
Yeah.
want for Would
Yeah, hit
You
me up.
Rather? We'll put it up.
So, all right, man. Well, I think that's it for the night, isn't it?
Yep.
We actually went a little over our goal tonight, but it's okay. We're still in our wheelhouse, so that's what's up. As long as we're there. Well, cool, dude. Let's go ahead and sign out. Travis, where can they find you, buddy?
They can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime. Like Greg said in the opening, I do DC Alliance with him, this show, and superhero discussions. For superhero discussions, we are going to get on the Death in the Family some point in the next week or two. Get that review out there. Very interested. I've heard that there's a far more selections than I thought there was going to be. So excited to dive into that.
Yeah.
And discuss it with you guys. And we're going to get Spider-Man, the animated series, 5th season, finished next week when my schedule opens up a bit more. And we're going to knock out a couple Batman the animated series because I just want to get that out there, get the ball rolling on that, get Greg's, not even get his feet wet, throw him head first into the deep end of Batman the animated series because some of the first few episodes are fantastic. And
I'm ready for
really excited. Yeah.
Definitely ready for it. You can find me at the Bat8052 on Twitter. It's my personal handle. Hit me up about just about anything. I'll talk to you, debate with you, have a good time discussing things that we disagree on or agree on. Just check out that handle. You can find everything I'm on. Travis mentioned most of the shows that I'm on with him. I know that pretty soon we're going to try to get with Katie and do on Slice of Film and do I think what me and Katie talked about doing was doing a Batman versus Superman Ultimate Edition commentary on maybe DC Alliance, and then all of us getting on Slice of Film and doing a review. So I'm not sure how we're going to work that out yet, but we're definitely going to cover BVS with Katie because it is mine and Travis's favorite film. Katie, I think, has different opinions about it, so it'll be nice.
Katie's never seen it. Katie's never seen it.
Oh, I thought she didn't like it. Okay.
She's never seen the Ultimate Edition.
Well, okay, never seen the Ultimate Edition. I got you.
That's what you just said. You don't watch the theatrical,
right?
Anymore.
I know, but
it doesn't. Greg, it doesn't exist for us.
You're right. It doesn't exist. So she's never seen it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
That should be pretty cool. Check me out Sunday afternoons on C3 Panthers podcast on the post game show. Tuesday nights live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube on the C3 Panthers podcast. Friday nights 9 Eastern Standard Time live on Super Civil Servants. And the audio drops here on Saturdays. Man, we are all over the place. And once again, I do want to put out there, check out November 7th, Geekverse Podcast Network, 24-hour live stream, BC Children's Hospital. All proceeds go to them. Trying to raise $1,500. Trying to raise a lot more than that. 2,000. Was it 2,000? I can't remember. Travis put it. I might have said 2,000. I'll shave my beard, which has been a very long time since I've done that. So it'll be fun. But yeah, y'all check it out. Seriously. And if you're going to check it out, I'll announce the times next week when I'm definite of what times they are. If you're not going to check it out anytime during the 24-hour stream, go watch the Super Civil Servants beat the brakes off of Geekverse Podcast Network because this is going to be fun. It's going to be so fun. I think they're going to stop keeping score. It's my prediction.
That's a pretty bold prediction there, Cotton.
Pretty bold prediction. Yeah. It's probably not true, but I'll probably be the guy that freezes up on every question they ask me. Just wait. But you got to talk trash.
Sure. Well, you've only been the quiz master. You've never been
exactly.
in the quiz.
So it is going to be different. I'm not sure how they're going to do this either. They're going to do it like he said, Family Feud style. So I'm not sure how these rules are going to go beforehand. I might have to get with him and figure out how the game is going to be played so we don't get blindsided there at the end right before it starts.
Make up any rules he wants. I know you, Greg, I subscribe to the Michael Jordan way of thinking. Like I will
turn into that
because I will gut you to win a game of cards, my friend. Like I hate losing in everything. So like I can't. We're not losing. We're not. I'm not.
No, it's not happening.
I'm not losing in this trivia contest.
I even bet them that if I told them we'd raise the stakes that if the Geekverse lost, one of them had to get a damage tattoo. And if the Super Civil Servants lost, one of us would have to get a Martha tattoo.
Well,
and Katie already volunteered to take the Martha tattoo because, my wife wouldn't let me have a tattoo of another woman's name on me. So,
well, I didn't have to worry about that because you didn't even tag me in that, so I didn't really have to worry about.
I didn't tag anybody in that. That was back and forth between me and one. So
I didn't have to worry about that. You didn't.
Yeah.
Some people might not even know I'm on the team.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Hines is on my team. I'm gonna spread 57 over everything on Super Civil Servants. It's gonna make it good. So it's knowledge we need. It sounded kind of dirty.
I'm with you, Balga. I'm with you.
What'd he say?
No, I'm just with him in the whole being Sting.
Neutral.
Getting,
yeah, okay.
Getting disrespected by Greg. I'm with you,
Oh
Balga.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You obviously don't tell him about the flowers that I sent.
Greg's like those damn tagging junk tweets. Dang
it. Look, y'all, I am not good on social media. It's just a thing. I'm not. But anyway, it's November 7th, 24-hour live stream. Check out the whole thing. Donate if you can. If you can't, just share. And if you can't do anything other than that, just come on and watch Super Civil Servants beat the crap out of Geekverse Podcast Network. It's going to happen. T-Bone, go ahead and make another video of, me talking about this. It's fine. It's cool. I'll go out there and record a video, talking trash like I do, and we'll go back and forth.
Wait, so he got my nickname now too? Oh, okay. All right, let's get at it. You said you called Snell T-Bone.
Oh my gosh, dude. See,
all right,
dude,
listeners.
That's
all right, listeners. It's 12:30 at night.
It's 12:30. It's 12:30. It's 4 Locos. Gosh.
I was just backing you up, and then you just put me in a body bag, Greg. You just blender. You just put me in a blender that time. I really hope Balga.
I'm digging my whole deep.
At least Chris and Snell, you gotta listen to this because that was just
they're going to, and they're going to give me hell for it. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well, listeners, thank you as always. We'll see you again next week. Let's hope that we get as much news as we got last week. But as always, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Keep pounding.
Later, guys.